North of 10 years after the occasions of the primary film, the film starts with Jake Contaminate portraying his unassuming and serene life as head of the Omaticaya tribe and raising a family with his significant other Neytiri, which incorporates his children Netting and Loak and his little girl Tuck, his embraced girl Kiri, brought into the world from Elegance Augustine's senseless Navi symbol, and a human kid named Bug, the child of Miles Quaritch who was brought into the world on Pandora however couldn't be shipped to Earth in cryostasis. While Jake can acknowledge Bug as a took-on child, Neytiri is wary of him given his human beginnings. Be that as it may, every one of the kids blend and mingle well with one another including Bug, whom Kiri is loving with despite the fact that he is a human. Insect doesn't embrace his human legacy and feels more lean to Navi culture and customs. They have a typical existence until one day they notice a bizarre star in the night sky. Once more, much regrettably, they understand it's a RDA space transport with people getting back to Pandora to colonize it, raising another super working base. Among the fresh debuts in the boat is Colonel Quaritch, who has been cloned into a Navi body and with his recollections transferred from before his demise. Subsequently, Quaritch can't recall his destruction because of Jake however is simply ready to remember the occasions previously and his vindictive mission to kill Jake. To keep the RDA from taking advantage of Pandora once more, Jake drives an essential guerrilla activity against the RDA supply lines debilitating them. In one of the tasks, Loak, who defies Netting and anxious to show what him can do, attempts to help Jake in fight yet gets injured. Jake saves and teaches him to not imperil his own well-being by being wild. That evening, while at the same time keeping an eye on his injuries, Neytiri smoothly reminds Jake to be not excessively unforgiving with Loak, to which Jake communicates his anxiety as a dad for the security of his youngsters. In the meantime, the counter follow-up on the RDA supply lines doesn't agree with Quaritch who starts a pursuit mission to kill Jake. During an energetic endeavor, Jake's kids alongside Insect investigate further into the rainforest. Unbeknownst to them, Quaritch and his group are at a similar area investigating the site where Quaritch will see his human remaining parts. An attentive Loak sees their presence and rapidly illuminates his dad Jake who is made aware of the circumstance. In any case, a clash happens and Quaritch's crew catches Jake's kids. Jake and Neytiri show up in time and free the majority of them, however Bug is taken by Quaritch, who remembers him as his child. On board the boat, the RDA attempts to coercively extricate data about Jake from Bug who will not give. Evolving system, Quaritch tends to Bug as his child and furthermore to make sense of more about the Navi in return for his opportunity on his side. Despite the fact that unagreeable and uninformed about Quaritch's real mission, Bug shows Quaritch Navi culture. Quaritch is additionally effectively ready to tame an Ikran flying animal as his vehicle. Realizing the risk Insect's information on his whereabouts stances to their well-being and furthermore to keep away from another disaster, Jake persuades a hesitant Neytiri and his family to oust themselves from the Omaticaya faction and retreat toward the eastern seaboard of Matekaina, a coral reef island whose tribe and way of life is adjusted to Pandora's oceanic environment. Jake gives his central mantle to his replacement and passes on altogether to Matekaina. Once showed up, they are welcomed by the tribe boss Tonobari and his better half Ronal who is suspicious of them at first. Nonetheless, Jake makes sense of their circumstance and they are consented to remain and given cover. Despite the fact that a few tribesmen mocked Jake and his kids for their hereditary human legacy, the family learns the methods of the reef individuals gaining the appreciation of them. Kiri is entranced with the oceanic existence of Matekaina and fosters a profound bond with the ocean and its animals, while Loak gets to know Siri, the little girl of tribe boss Tonobari and his significant other Ronal. While adjusting to their new climate, Loak gets into a battle with Siria's sibling Oning when he pokes an unrefined fun at Kiri and him of their blended human genealogy. Jake reproves his child for his way of behaving. At Jake's demand, Loak gets back to apologize to Oning and his companions. Be that as it may, they captivate him to an outing into the domain of a risky ocean hunter and leave him abandoned as a retribution. The ocean hunter attempts to go after Loak. Notwithstanding, Loak is saved by and becomes friends with Paikin, a tulkun, a shrewd and pacifistic cetacean species whom the Maitkaina think about their otherworldly family. Upon his revisitation of Maitkaina, boss Tonovari, who became mindful of Onu's activities on Loak, requests that the previous apologize to Loak. Nonetheless, Loak assumes the fault on himself, winning Onu's fellowship. He is additionally informed that Paikin is an untouchable among his species. In the meantime, out traveling to a branch off of the Tree of Spirits, Kiri joins with it to meet her mom, however experiences a rough seizure. She is recuperated by Ronal. However, when Jake calls Norm Spellman and Max Patel for help, Quaritch can follow them to the archipelago where the reef individuals reside. Carrying insect with him, he secured a whaling vessel which is hunting tulkuns to read their cerebrum proteins for making hostile to maturing cures. Quaritch starts to severely scrutinize the native clans about Jake's area, bombing that. He arranges the whaling team to wantonly kill the tulkuns to draw Jake out. Loak intellectually connects with Paikin and discovers that the tulkun was projected out in light of the fact that he conflicted with the methods of his species and went after the whalers who killed his mom. When the Maitkaina learn of the tulkun slaughters, Loak takes off to warn Paikin, followed by his siblings, Sire and Oning. They find Paikin being chased by the whalers, and Loak, Kiri and Tuck are captured by Quaritch. With their children in danger, Jake, Neytiri and the Maitkaina set out to confront the humans. Quaritch forces Jake to surrender, but seeing his soul brother imperiled, Paikin attacks the whalers, triggering a fight which kills most of the crew and critically damages the vessel, causing it to sink. Netang rescues Loak and Spider, but is fatally shot. Jake faces Quaritch, who uses Kiri as a hostage. When Neytiri does the same with Spider, Quaritch at first denies his son, but desists when Neytiri cuts Spider on the chest. Jake, Quaritch, Neytiri and Tuck end up caught inside the sinking vessel. Jake chokes Quaritch into obviousness and is protected by Loak and Paikin, and Kiri gathers ocean animals to help her save Neytiri and Tuck. Bug finds and safeguards Quaritch, yet passes on him because of his savagery towards the Na'vi and putting his objective to kill Jake's family over being his dad and turning into a decent man, driving him back to rejoin Jake's loved ones. After Neteyam's burial service, Jake and his family choose to for all time stay with the Maitkaina.